Please leave a message after the tone.
Hello, my name is Adam Sandler, and welcome to Sandlerous, the Sandman movie podcast. Agabagoo!
Hello and welcome back to Sandlerous, the Sandman movie podcast, a podcast where we discuss the movies of famed rock band drummer Adam Sandler. My name is Kerry Jones, and as always, I am joined by my dearest friend and co-host, Matt Wolstenholme. Hi, Matt.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got another week of Adam Sandler going on here.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
Well, it's been, 2 weeks since we've recorded, so we've had a little break, but not... It's good to be back with a decent movie. If it was anything else we did previously,
it would have been a struggle to come back like fucking 5 weeks in a row, which is not great. Like, I know obviously last week's we said it was good, but it was all right.
Yeah. Have you gone back to watch Coneheads or no? No.
I mean, it's not to say I wouldn't. I probably would watch that movie again with someone. Say if someone's not seen it, like, oh, I'll watch this. Yeah, sure. I don't mind.
Yeah, I threw my disc out the window. I'm not going back to Coneheads ever.
Never again.
Never, ever again. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. How do we usually do this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while. It's thrown me off my game. We've not recorded in genuinely like 2 weeks. Fuck.
Oh,
well, you usually start. I actually have no idea.
Yeah.
This must be so frustrating to listen to, but
we usually say let's get into the movie, then I throw in the trailer, and then
no, you usually say let's get in the movie, and we just chat shit for about 10 minutes.
Well, let's chat shit before we get into the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, have you got all your notes ready? Is nothing going to die this week?
No, I've got everything here. This week, I've actually gone off Wikipedia. So I've literally just copied it. Well, I'm on the Wikipedia page. My laptop was gone, so...
No, man. No.
So I had to type on an iPad, and it just wasn't... it just wasn't working. So I've just I've copy and pasted the Wikipedia, so we're going to go off that. Right, yeah, Matt, should we just get into the movie?
Yeah, let's give it a go. We've got Airheads.
Oh, I was about to say Coneheads.
Now and again.
Right, you have completely ruined one of my bits I was going to do, but but we move on.
Sorry.
It's fine.
You definitely had that written down as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've
ruined everything.
I've got another idea here. Okay. So this week's movie is Airheads.
I can't take that tape from you. If it's unsolicited, I can't touch it.
It's not easy to break into the music business, but these three guys...
What's your secret code?
I can't tell you my code.
...just found a way.
You guys are a unsigned band, and you broke into the radio station to get your demo played on the air?
I just feel a little goofy with a water pistol.
They don't know it's a water pistol. They think it's real.
Oops. Look, all I want to do is be heard, and then we're out of here.
Okay, who are you guys?
My name's Pip.
The band name. Sorry about that.
Oh, man, look, the demo's wasted!
Well, what are we gonna do now?
Run!
Hello, police.
I'm surrounded.
I don't want to go to jail. I'm fragile.
Everybody on the floor right now.
Do you mind if I sit in a chair? I don't want to get all cruddy.
Yeah.
If she doesn't sit on the floor, I don't know why I have to.
Sit down! Everybody else gets to sit in a chair except for you. Is everybody okay in there?
He wants to know what your demands are for releasing the hostages.
What's he mean by hostages?
It's the inbreed.
We asked for a whole bunch of weird stuff. This way we can plead insanity later.
Number 13, naked pictures of B. Arthur.
Excuse me? I think you're exceeding the maximum weight limit for that belt.
Yo! Somebody having a good time tonight!
What are you thinking about?
Swimming pools.
He doesn't wear a helmet, does he?
You guys are crazy, man. Y'all are all woohoo.
It's a plastic gun! A plastic gun!
Now what are you gonna do about that? Chunk style?
Improvised.
The Lone Rangers?
What's wrong with that?
Well, there's 3 of you. You're not exactly lone.
No idea what you're saying right now.
Airheads.
I cut a deal with them. We gotta send one person out.
I'll go.
One of the hostages, doof.
Sorry.
The music made them do it.
Airheads are a taffy candy manufactured by Dutch-Italian company Profiti van Mel in Kentucky. They were created on August the 7th, 1985 by Steve Bruner.
Wait a minute.
Airheads are available nationwide in the United States and Canada, where candy is available in 16 different flavors.
I mean, fuck, Airheads are pretty fucking good. No, they don't come up in this movie like I thought they might have done, but
no, they should have.
If you can, go get yourself a pack of Airheads.
Yeah, enjoy a pack of Airheads while you listen to the Airheads episode. Anyway, Airheads is a 1994 American comedy film written by Rich Wilkes, directed by Michael Lehman, written by Rich Wilkes, and starring Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, Ernie Hudson, Michael McKean, Judd Nelson, Michael Richards, and Joe Mantegna. Let's have a look at these guys. So Rich Wilkes, he's an American filmmaker and musician, and he hasn't done much at all. Oh, he wrote Bulletproof 2, which is a sequel to Bulletproof, which we're doing in a couple of weeks, but it doesn't feature Adam Sandler or Damon Wayans. I think it's got Cedric the Entertainer, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Good old Cedric.
Maybe not Cedric. Maybe not Cedric.
You lost yourself in your notes there.
Yeah. He also wrote the characters for Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage, Triple X, State of Union, Triple X. He was creator, writer, and an actor where he played the tall guy.
The tall guy?
Yep.
Is that his credit? All right, yep. Brilliant.
And then Michael Lehman, who's the director of this movie, he directed Heathers with what's her face from Mr. Deeds. What's her name? Winona Ryder. Directed.
I've never even heard of that movie.
Yeah. Heathers is a 1989 American black comedy teen film written by Daniel Waters and directed by Michael Lehman.
All right, guys, switch reverse. This is actually a Heathers podcast now. We're ready to go.
All I know it was adapted into a musical. Okay, let's get back to Airheads. Where were we?
You started with the cast, I think, or just with the director.
Yeah. So back cast as well, but we'll get to that later on. Right, Matt, it is time for our very first world famous segment called Curb That Blurb.
Oh yes, this is how we usually kick off. There we go. We found our feet again.
So what I've done is I've found a plot synopsis online, and I'm gonna tell you it, and then you've got to decide whether we curb that blurb or we let it walk free. So, Matt, Chaz, Rex, and Pip are a band known as the Lone Rangers, and all they're looking for is some attention. But when they take over a radio station with fake guns in order to get their song played over the airwaves, they get a little more than they bargained for. And this was written by Michael Silver. Michael Silver also left an email address, like the guy last week, but it was
we'll leave that one be. Eh?
It was too much effort to edit it out. So, Matt, would you like to curb that blurb, or would you like to let it walk free?
I think we can curb stomp that. I think that's a pretty shit
Yeah.
blurb.
It was pretty boring.
Doesn't really say much, does it?
No, not at all. That was pretty boring, but I agree. We will curb that blurb. I couldn't find many reviews online from like critics that were funny, so I've decided to skip out on those. But I found a couple from fans online. So this one is from Anne, and she gave this movie 1.5 stars, and she said, "This would never happen in 2022 because of Spotify," which is fair.
You're not wrong, Anne. I can't argue with that. But fuck me, it used to be fun at parties, eh? Jesus.
Yeah. If this was 2022, they'd be straight on Spotify. If this was 2012, they'd be SoundCloud artists.
Yeah.
How do people get discovered now? YouTube?
TikTok.
Oh yeah, that's true. YouTube and TikTok. Can you imagine this band on TikTok?
Fuck. Nah. Fuck. I don't have a TikTok, so
Oh,
you'd be
fair
fucking
enough.
lost on me there.
And then we got 5 stars here from Sydney, and she says, "God gave me 3 holes for a reason."
Jesus. Nice. She a groupie then?
I'm guessing she's talk.
Big fan of the band.
Yeah, she has to be talking
Big
about the
fan
main
of-
3.
Oh, she's definitely a big fan of the Lone Rangers.
Steve Buscemi's good looking in this as well, and he's usually not.
Yeah, he's usually given a lot of shit as a very.
He's looking kind of handsome.
Yeah.
And then
Going off
finally,
the punk rock lot.
sorry. Apparently, he was based on somebody from Pantera. Rex from
Fuck
Pantera.
Oh, they all just look the same.
Yeah. Every single one looked exactly the same. Right, and then before we move on to the plot, Matt, what do you think this movie had on Rotten Tomatoes, critics-wise?
Oh, I don't know actually, because I actually really like this. I thought this was a good movie. But fuck me, Adam Sandler, as we know, does not do well on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna go with at least 63.
25%.
Fuck off! What?
25% of critics give this a positive review, and I think you're going to be more shocked with the audience reviews. What do you think the audience? Audience
that's
give
not
this?
good. All right, well, we're going to drop down there.
Because what we've got big, we've got big stars in Brendan Fraser. We've got Adam Sandler. You'd think this would be an audience pleaser because it was an easy watch.
This is a really big, good
Step
cast.
Up. Yeah,
and it's a big step up as well.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, if you've thrown me off now, I'm like 50.
50 exact.
50 exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, nah, this movie's definitely better than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. I think 50% of audience give this a positive review. I don't understand how you could give it a negative review. Like, there's not enough in it to make it bad.
No, yeah, like even some of the stuff I didn't really like, I was like, I can suspend a little bit of disbelief for that.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie definitely makes up for it. So,
right. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to read off Wikipedia because, as I said, I couldn't type this week. So I've literally just got the whole plot here. So we'll read through it.
Fair enough. I actually found it more difficult to make notes for this because I found myself because I'd not seen it before, so I was actually enjoying the movie. So I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
I'm like 20 minutes behind.
That was my main problem as well. Right, okay, just Matt, cut in whenever you want. Chaz, Rex, and Pip are in a Los Angeles hard rock band called the Lone Rangers, who are continuously turned down as they try to get their demos tape heard by record producers like Jimmy Wigg. So the first scene is just Brendan Fraser sneaking in to this record production company, isn't he, as the delivery guy?
Yeah, so you see him he's got his little delivery uniform on, and he just finesses all the security, gets on the elevator, and manages to find his way to an executive.
Yeah, And then
it is all right.
I think he's done it before though, because the security guard recognizes him, doesn't he? It's like, it's
Yeah,
that delivery
they
guy
all know
again.
him. They all know him as like that crazy guy who's just like running around the building trying to find people.
But then, yeah,
Hey, you've got to fucking get out there and put your name out there. This guy's clearly.
Yeah, he runs
clearly
into
trying.
he runs into Jimmy Wig, played by Judd Nelson, and he's like, "Hey, I got my tape. Can you give it a listen?" He's like, "No, I can't take unsolicited tapes. I've got to have permission to listen to it."
Yeah, some shit like that. I didn't really know what he was going on about there.
Whose permission does he need? Surely it's just the artist's permission.
It's like the artist, and then he's the one that's like making the decision. So like, I think he's just trying to get him to fuck off, really, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's
just kind of blowing him off.
He keeps on going, "I can't take the tape. I can't." So after a while, Brendan Fraser decides to leave and goes back to his apartment, and then his girlfriend comes in. And then,
what is it? He tells him they can't like take the music like from them. They have to play on the radio first and get like a record label. So obviously like sets up for the rest of the movie, but
they're the record label.
Weird. Yeah.
So they what is it? They need to play on the radio before going to the record label.
Yeah, that's like the crux of the movie, I guess. Or like at least the setup of the plot.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really.
But basically, Jimmy Wig can't take the record. So this
fucking Judd Nelson.
This builds up the whole thing, and then after scolding him for being lazy, Chad's girlfriend Kayla kicks him out of her apartment. So yeah, Brendan Fraser goes back to the apartment, and he's just there, like he is a waste of space, really. And then
in this he's literally just a waste of oxygen. Like he's doing fuck all, sat around watching TV.
What do you think of his girlfriend? She's fucking violent.
Yeah, she's very like fucking bipolar. She just flips on him like no one's business. Like he tells her, "Oh yeah, I just went to the radio and I spoke with an executive." She's like all lovey-dovey, and then she immediately just starts throwing shit at him and throws him out.
And then,
it's like, what the fuck?
And then after he gets kicked out, he goes to see Steve. He goes to see Rex, which is played by Steve Buscemi, in the
toy store,
in a toy shop. And then this brings things in later on. So Steve Buscemi, he likes to collect toys. And in his apartment, he's got things like Stretch Armstrong and crash test dummies and a bunch of other shit. But what does the store manager say? I remember this being funny, but I can't remember it at all.
Oh fuck! You've lost me. I don't think I wrote anything down for it.
I think it was like, "Rex, I need you to work this weekend." And then he was like, "Steve, I don't give a fuck," and just walks out with Brendan Fraser, something like that. And then,
oh no, he's I don't know if it's his boss. Is it his boss, or is it one of the other, like a supervisor or something? Says something to him, and he just
I think it's a supervisor.
Tells him to go fuck himself.
But yeah, not much happens here, and then we're introduced to Adam Sandler's character Pip. Can't remember what happens here, but then
they just basically say he loves cleaning pools. Oh
yeah, he's a pool cleaner.
Goddamn pool cleaners.
And then now is it then the band?
He's got a skinhead in this as well, which is really weird. But you obviously don't really see it. But yeah, he's got like full like shaved head
because he's got his silly little cap on. But Pip is a pool cleaner, and then they're in Buscemi's apartment, and there's a bunch of toys here. And then
my first note I've got on this is just they're all just massive kids.
Yeah, and then
they're all just grown up.
In this scene, we're introduced to the main plot device of the movie, which is this realistic water pistol that's filled with hot sauce.
Yeah, so they've got mini Uzis that were too real to sell in the toy store because they would look too real. And then they fill them with hot sauce, and here we go.
And then that night, the band decides to go to a Sons of Thunder gig presented by Ian from Rebel Radio. Sons of Thunder thank Ian and the radio station and say that they're the reason that they got signed to a record label. Then the band decides to go to the local rock station KPPX to play their reel-to-reel tape on the air and attempt to break in through the back door. So after the gig, the band decide to go to this radio station, and they attempt to break in a couple of different ways. Like, what, does Sandler insert his credit card?
Yeah, so there's like a key cards like thing, and he puts in like the ATM and like types his like 6-digit pin in or whatever. What is it? He's like, "What's your secret code?" I don't want to tell you my secret code.
And then it gets eaten up by the machine, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just says "fuck off." Come on now.
And then they attempt to break in another couple of different ways, and then a station employee named Susie comes out for a smoke, and this is her and Adam Sandler. They just lock eyes and instantly fall for each other.
Yeah, they just kind of hit it off there.
And then Susie gets called back into the station, but before she gets called, before the door closes, Brendan Fraser drops his bag from above.
That was pretty fucking cool, actually. I didn't really notice what happened at first, and I was like, oh no, nice.
Drops his bag from above, and then it just keeps the door from shutting behind her.
Yeah, it like lands on the door so it can't close fully. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That was pretty clever coming from idiots like this.
Yeah.
Once inside, laid back DJ Ian the Shark begins talking with some of them on air. The station manager Milo overhears them and intervenes, but Ian continues broadcasting. So yeah,
I thought that was a pretty good part of the, like, I don't know how to say, but he just kind of he flicks them on air and then just gives them the mic and just like, oh, this could be fucking interesting. Yeah, let's see what goes on.
And then so Ian is played by Joe Mantegna, who is Fat Tony from The Simpsons. And then
I was listening to this and I was like, that voice, there's something about this guy's voice that's just fucking throwing me off. And then I looked at it later and was like, oh, no way. Fucking, I knew that name from somewhere.
So he's Fat Tony. And then, he just gives them the mic and then they just start talking. And then the manager, Milo, who's played by McKean from last week, who was in the INS.
McKean's back again.
He's back as the bad guy again, I guess. And then he goes into the booth and he's like, stop recording. What is this? And then he's just having a go at the band. And then he ends up calling Rex Hollywood Boulevard trash. And then this causes Rex to pull a gun out from his bag.
Yeah, he pulls a gun from his bag and just takes them all hostage. And you're just this. The situation escalates immediately.
Yeah, after Milo insults Rex by calling him Hollywood Boulevard trash, he and Chaz pull out a realistic-looking water pistol filled with hot sauce and demand airplay. And then they pull out the tape, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we can't play this. Why didn't you bring the cassette tape?" And Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, what is it he brings? Like the fucking some like reel.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser pulls out the actual like the master reel of of the recording, and then the Rex is like, "Why didn't you just bring the tape?" And Brendan Fraser's character, he's like, "Oh, I didn't bring the tape because it washes out my backing vocals." And then
gotta be a perfectionist.
And then Ian's like, "Oh yeah, we can't play this. We need to set up a reel-to-reel player." Where is it?
Some other fucking machine that they need for the music.
Yeah, so they go to find this reel-to-reel player somewhere in the building, and then after they set it up, they play. They start playing the song. So
they grab like 2 more people hostage at this point.
Yeah. They're just going around grabbing people hostages.
So like anyone that's in the building.
And then as soon as they set it up, they press play, and then the drums kick in, and it's a pretty decent song.
Yeah, it goes for like just a couple seconds, and then
and then the whole machine blows up.
Just has a fucking meltdown.
After setting up an old reel-to-reel for the demo, the tape begins to play, but is quickly destroyed when the player malfunctions. After this, the band decides, they're like, oh, fuck it, we got to get out of here now then, because we can't play our track. We got these guns out. So they run to the exit, run to the first exit, and they open the door, and police are outside, and the police have been called by a character played by
Michael Richards is back.
Michael Richards is back. His character's name is Beach. So they run to the first door, and they're like, oh shit, cops are here. And then they try to figure out if the cops are there for them. So they send Adam Sandler's character out, and he's just doing these classic Adam Sandler things. Like, he walks to the car, the cop walks to the car, he takes a step back, the cop takes a step back, trying to figure out. And then then Adam Sandler just does his classic Adam Sandler, like, old man. And then he goes to run to the car, then the cop runs after him, and then he just runs back inside and like, the cops are here for us. But is this cop played by Alan Covert?
Yeah, it is. I was looking at him and I was like, fuck me, he looks so young in this.
Because he pops up later on.
Who is he later on?
He has one line as a copper, so I was just wondering if it was the same cop.
Oh no, it is definitely him.
And then,
because he turns around and like looks at the camera and you see him.
After they fail to get out to that exit, they go to the front exit. Same thing, cops are there as well. And then they try a third exit, and they are surrounded by cops. Then
so the whole building's surrounded. They've got all the hostages. They're a bit fucked at this point.
Completely fucked. Then the band take a bunch of employees into a room. One of these employees is David Arquette from Scream and Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, nice. Eight-Legged Freaks. What a fucking movie.
He's so young.
He's like 20, and he's just like bleach blonde, fucking full Slim Shady.
And then
but he's hilarious in this as well. He's just having a
fantastic.
great time.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is at the end, after they release all the hostages, and then like
spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, don't worry. And then at the end, he comes back to the door. He's like, "Let me in! I want to come back in.
I want to be back on the hostage."
After they take a bunch of hostages into this room, a bunch of other policemen show up, including Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson's in this movie as the chief of police.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson's in this. We have 2 Ghostbusters in this movie.
We've had 3 out of 4 Ghostbusters in 2 weeks.
3 out of 4 in 2 weeks. That's not bad.
And Chris Farley's back again.
I was well upset. I thought he was going to be in this way more than he is. Like, he's not in it much, but he is good in this.
I didn't realize how much Chris Farley was in before he passed away. He's in loads.
Yeah, he's in loads of stuff.
Yeah, I had no idea. But yeah, Ernie Hudson and Chris Farley, as well as Alan Covert, and then Ian and Chaz. They go to have a conversation, and Ian tries to get Chaz to realize that this has gone too far and they need to give themselves up. And where am I? So they have a conversation, and Ian is trying to like hint to Chaz that they need to give up because everything has gone too far. Like, there's guns involved, there's police involved, and he just needs to surrender. But Chaz takes the wrong lesson here, and he says the lesson that he's realized is that his girlfriend Kayla has a copy of the tape. So the only way to resolve this is to find Kayla and bring that tape into
so they can get
into the station so they can get the airplay.
And get on the radio
pretty much.
eventually.
And then since the station never went off air, news of the hostage crisis travels quickly, and numerous hard rock and metal fans begin showing up outside the radio station, interfering with the police. Then Chaz goes outside to negotiate with the police, and Chaz tells the police about the tape that's with his girlfriend, and now they decided to go to find her.
What is it as well? They ask for like loads of random crazy shit from the police and the hostage so they can plead insanity.
Yeah, this comes later on, I think. But the police are like, send out one hostage to show good faith, and then we'll go get the tape. And then everybody's like, and then what's his name? Milo's like, I want to go, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone decides to send Yvonne.
Oh, yeah. So they send
the reception. The receptionist.
That was one of my favorite bits of that movie because she's just not arsed. Like, she's just, fuck this. I don't want to be here. I hate all this shit. And then what is it? Brendan Fraser just turns around and he's like, yeah, grab your shit and go. You'll be home in time for The Simpsons. Yeah, sweet. I'm going. Fuck this. I'm out.
Yeah. So the police are tasked to go and find Kayla with this photo that Brendan Fraser has of her. But the photo that Brendan Fraser has of her is just her in a bikini, full ass shot.
Yeah.
And you can barely see her face.
Be like trying to find someone at a random bar with like a fucking Playboy centerfold picture of her.
So yeah, with this photo, Chris Farley is tasked to go and find her somewhere, and then after they send Yvonne out, Rex and Pip practice holding hostages because Pip isn't too comfortable with holding a gun and being mean to people. And then after a while, Pip really gets into it, and he just goes, "I'm gonna stab you in the head with my dick, and it's gonna bleed everywhere."
Just one of those things when you're just so angry you can't think of anything to say and a bunch of words come out.
Yep. And then
Michael Richards hears this while he's die hard on his way through the fucking vents in the roof.
Yeah, so he's got a completely different idea. Yeah. Michael Richards is in the vents. He heard the break-in earlier on, decided to ring the police and just jump in the vents. Pretty much.
Yeah, so he's just crawling around in the fucking air ducts the whole movie.
And then after this, the SWAT team arrives and end up speaking to Beach on the phone, who's Michael Richards, and then they plan for him to be the man on the inside.
Yeah, so he's the only free one. They don't know he's there.
Yeah.
And then he's speaking with the SWAT guy, but not the lead negotiator, eh?
Yeah. The lead negotiator is Ernie Hudson, and the lead SWAT guy is just this deranged man.
Yeah, he's just this crazy cop.
He's a complete psychopath. And then, we just get a montage of rocking out and then going around the station collecting music from Milo's office. The band are having fun. They're on the radio having a chat, blah, blah, blah. And then we get a live phone call in to the station. Do you know who rung in?
Yeah, so there's one. I don't know if the guy the first call is, but then obviously we get fucking Beavis and Butthead giving him a call for the second ones. I really like this. I really wasn't expecting it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so Airheads is set in the Beavis and Butthead universe, along with
I can see that.
Daria and Jackass 3D.
Nice.
Yeah. So
yeah, that really threw me for a second, but I was like, no, that's fucking hilarious. Give me some Beavis and Butthead.
Airheads were doing the cinematic universe before Marvel even got going. And then
this is probably like 4 years before Blade, eh?
Yeah, I think so. And then we got a hard R word. And then we cut to a newscast saying about the hostage situation and saying how horrible this band is and saying blah, blah, blah. And then so the band realized that they're actually in quite a bit of trouble considering what's going on.
Yeah, I think they realized that there's like 50 cops outside, the SWAT team are here, and
Yeah.
they've got like 10 people hostage.
And they're all over the news. And then I've just written here, main SWAT guy gets a divorce because of skid marks. I don't know what that means.
been leaving presents in his underwear.
Yeah, and I think he got a divorce
Gruffy
because
bastard.
I think there's a line.
He talks about
his wife,
his wife
doesn't he?
is fucking the pool boy.
Yeah, which is
it's kind of like you led to believe that it's Adam Sandler's character.
It has to be.
And that's when he's like, nah, fuck these guys. And he's like, he said he's a pool boy. He's a fucking pool boy. And he just goes nuts.
During this whole crisis, it is revealed that Milo has secretly signed a deal to change KPPX's format to adult contemporary, which includes having to fire Ian and most of the other employees. When this comes out, Ian and a few employees side with the band and turn against Milo. So yeah, through the whole montage earlier on, we see Rex in Milo's office, like looking through the CDs that he's got and realize that they're not all rock CDs. I think they're like John Denver CDs or something.
Yeah, there's some weird shit that's like what was one of them's like listen to like rain noises or something like that. Yeah, just like soothing like ASMR music, I guess.
And then he finds a pair of sailor shorts as well.
Yeah. I don't know why they were in there though. It's a fucking radio show.
No idea, but Rex brings these CDs into the main recording studio and it's like, what the fuck are these? What? And then it's revealed that Milo's changing everything over, and this just pisses everyone off. Then the police find Kayla at a club.
Yeah, Chris Farley's character. He's set out on the hunt for this girl. And I really like how he just walks into this punk bar and just immediately gets thrown into a mosh pit.
Yep.
And this one guy pushes him and then he just gets fucking bounced around.
And White Zombie are playing with Rob Zombie as
yeah.
As
so
the lead.
I looked at the cast and I was like, fuck, I don't remember seeing Rob Zombie in this movie, but
can I just say, and I've said, what year are we now? 22.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for 15 years. Fuck Rob Zombie. Honestly.
All right. I'm here for it.
Fuck Rob Zombie.
What vendetta have you got against Rob Zombie?
Halloween 2007 is the worst film I've ever seen in my life, and he completely ruined Michael Myers for me. And then the sequel, Halloween 2, is even worse. So Halloween 2007 is not the worst film I've ever seen. He completely ruined the character, the feel, everything Halloween, because he just turned it into torture porn bullshit. I hated Rob Zombie for 15 years.
And the hate shows no sign of stopping.
Oh.
All right. Well, I have no personal grievances with Rob Zombie, but as Gary says, fuck Rob Zombie.
And then Chris Farley gets into a fight with some rockers. They rip off his badge and like fold it in half. And then the rocker's like, "What are you gonna do now, pig?" And Chris Farley's like, "Improvise." And he just rips out his nipple rings.
Yeah, it's just casual, like he's just pulling a fucking can off like a top off a can of Coke or something. Just fully yanks his nipple off. Oh.
And after this, now the band decides to make some crazy demands so they can plead insanity.
This is right.
So they've asked for a football helmet full of cream cheese, multiple copies of Moby Dick, and
what is he gets like 48 copies of Moby Dick?
Yeah,
and he's like, What? No, she asked him, it's like, oh, the book or the movie? He's like, they made a book about that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was a funny line. Yeah, 48 copies of Moby Dick, and then naked pictures of the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Then after this, Lizzie and Pip, they start making out, and then they end up having sex in Milo's office.
Oh yeah, then they end up on their own together, and
yeah,
they're making on.
At some point in this film, I don't know when it is, but she says to Milo, I think it's after it's discovered that everybody's going to get fired, and she's like, all those blowjobs for nothing.
Nice. And then no, it must be just before this, eh? Because he's like tied up for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I think it's after it's discovered he's trying to sell the thing, and then the SWAT team search the band's van and finds a load of pool cleaning stuff. And assuming the worst, they speak to Beach and they agree to meet on the roof. Then on the roof, the SWAT team secretly passes a gun to Beach, and now he's gone full Die Hard.
Yeah, so he's just doing some slapstick Die Hard before, like setting himself on fire and fucking falling down like vent shafts and stuff. But now he's got a little MP5 and he's coming for blood.
Yeah. And then Ian announces it's his last night on the radio and interviews Chaz live on air. The crowd are loving it. Ian is done with Milo. And he's just making the most of his last night. He's playing the music that he wants. He's having fun with the hostage situation. He's getting guests to call in, blah, blah, blah. And he's just making the most of it. Then Milo catches Liz and Pip having sex in his office, and then the power is completely cut off.
Oh, yeah, the police shut all the power down to the building, so they're not alive. Nothing's going on anymore. They're a bit fucked.
Yep. And then after this, we've got our third Ghostbuster. And
Harold Ramis just shows up out of nowhere.
Harold Ramis comes up as I think he's a record producer. And then the band are like, oh, and then he's like, yeah, we want to sign you to our record label, blah, blah, blah. And then the band's like, oh, prove that you're a record producer. And it's like, whose side did he take in the Van Halen split? Eddie Van Halen or whatever? And it's like, Van Halen? And it's like, he's a cop! He's a cop! He's a I'm like, I'm not a cop, I'm not a cop. Yeah. and then like, okay, second question. Who would win in a boxing match, Lemmy or God? And he's like, God? And it's like, trick question. Lemmy is God. And then Lemmy shows up in this movie later on as well.
Yeah, and then we get Lemmy about 20 minutes after this in the crowd.
So yeah, this doesn't work out. And then after this,
also, is this when? Yeah, because Chaz goes outside.
Yeah, Chaz and Rex go outside, and then they rile up the crowd and demand that the power goes back on. But
but is this where they call him out for being a geek in high school, and his real name is what is it, Chester?
Yeah, and then a bunch of people in the crowd are saying all the geeky stuff that they did. And so I can't remember any of the geeky stuff that the crowd said.
I've got the thing here.
Yeah, go on.
This guy is John Melendez is credited in this movie as constantly masturbating Rocker. His line in this is like, I used to masturbate constantly, and that's it. Like, sweet. And then there's Rich. Was Rich Wilkes the director, did you say?
Yeah.
The corduroy pants rocker. So he admits that he used to wear corduroy pants, sorry. And there's another guy who said he used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and then you got Lemmy as well, who said he used to edit a school magazine.
Oh, yeah, there we go. And then
so they were all nerds back in the day.
And then at this point,
apart from the masturbating guy, he was just having a wank. He's having the time of his life.
And then at this point, the crowd are riled up, and Chaz just starts shouting, Rodney King, Rodney King.
Yeah, that really threw me. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then we cut back
worked,
to
though.
Yeah, then the crowd are completely riled up, and then we cut back to what's the name of this actor? I can't remember his name, but we cut back to Reggie Cathy's character Marcus, and he just goes, he's a black guy, and he just goes, why Rodney King? And Adam Sandler just goes, he's that guy. And
he's like, they're doing the Rodney King chant, and the only black person in the hostage situation is like, oh, who's that?
Then Adam Sandler, like, oh, that guy. But there was some weird race stuff in this movie. Like, that could have been cut out. And there's a thing earlier on where Sandler asked Yvonne, he just goes, Yvonne, why don't black people like me?
Yeah, there was a good part of the movie, but yeah, there's some really weird, like, just odd. Like, the Rodney, like, why are they chanting Rodney King? Like, I get it, they're in LA, and it's, like, the early 90s, but, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's some real, weird race things in this movie. After this, Kayla arrives at the radio station to deliver the tape. Earlier on in the movie, Kayla's in the car and she's listening to this tape. And then she decides to eject and just goes, fuck you, and throws the tape out the car window. And then throughout the movie, it gets slowly more and more destroyed. But yeah, Kayla arrives at the radio station, delivers the tape that she's just picked up. And she finds out that Chaz's real name is Chester, and he was a loser. Oh yeah, okay. Blah, blah, blah. The tape is damaged because Kayla threw it out of the car earlier. Chaz and Kayla get into an argument that quickly escalates and results in the studio console being destroyed, dashing any hopes to play the tape on air.
Yeah, so she just fucks everything up by throwing a chair through a window and breaking all the equipment.
Completely ruins the only studio console in this professional radio station.
Yeah, the only one in the whole building.
Yep, and a massive building as well.
Yeah, we'll get to that. She really is violent in this movie. She's hurling shit about.
She's awful. And then after this, they make up because Chaz is like, Kayla, I love you.
Yeah.
And then all is forgiven. As some of the items the band demanded from police are brought into the station, the door shuts on Rex's plastic gun and reveals it to be fake. So things like the cream cheese filled helmet come in, and then the door just shuts and it snaps the toy gun. Seeing this, some of the hostages run out, one telling the SWAT team that the band's guns are not real. As the team assembles to storm the station, Beach corners the band from a low-hanging air vent, knowing he is no longer... Oh, yeah, okay. So we'll go back a bit there. So, yeah.
So they all see that the gun's not real, and then they all just, like, fucking run straight out into the crowd.
They decide to run out, and because they realize that they're not in any danger of getting shot. And then once the SWAT team finds out that they're using fake guns, they decide to surround the building. But as they're surrounding the building, Michael Richards' character comes from the air vent and brandishes the gun at the band. And then Ian, who's the DJ, he knows that he's not going to have a job tomorrow, so he just decides to smack the gun out of Beach's hand. And as the gun hits the floor, it just rapidly fires absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, just like this gun just unloads the whole clip.
that was a risky move.
Risky move.
It causes the weapon to widely fire several rounds, and the police are forced to back off. Ian picks up the gun, but gives it to somewhat confused Chaz in a final act of anti-establishment rebellion. So Ian picks up the gun, he brandishes at the band, and then he's like, actually, the guy who took me hostage earlier, you take the real gun.
Yeah, I just wrote a note of this. Oh wait, no. So there's another bit in this movie. So when they run outside, like freaking David Arquette's character, they're obviously all still hostages. He just runs into the crowd and he's having a grand old time, like we're free, we're free. And then Marcus's character, the only black guy there, runs into the crowd and just immediately gets arrested by like 8 cops, and he just gets slammed up against this fucking van. And I was just like, fucking hell, that's a bit on the nose. But Jesus, it's not true.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then yeah, so then they turn around, the DJ's still there, and he gives Brendan Fraser back the real gun.
Yeah, and then
I've just got here that DJ understands what true rock and roll is. That's the note I've written.
And then Chaz rings Ernie Hudson and is like, "What the fuck? Why did you give this guy a gun?" And then Ernie Hudson realizes that the SWAT team were going behind his back, whatever. And then Jimmy Wing, who was the record executive from the start of the movie, he comes to the radio station and he offers the band a contract. The band agree to the deal, knowing that they have no more options. And then Milo's like, "Oh, you just signed a record deal. How about I become your manager?" Milo's just instantly switches from a guy that hates these people to wanting to be their manager. Just like, I'll take.
It's just like, well, I can make some money here.
I'll take a 10% cut, and then they eventually get that down to 5%.
5%. Yeah.
And then the contract is signed, and the band celebrates. And then Chaz finds out that Wing hasn't actually listened to the song, and then he's not happy. So he's like, "This is what I think of your contract," and he just wipes his ass with it. And then somebody just goes, "He just wiped his ass with that contract?"
Yes, he did. Grand act of defiance.
And then Wing tells Chaz that if he leaves the building, he's already a celebrity because of what's gone down today. But without the record label behind them, he will get into trouble and will go to jail. He says something like, rock stars don't go to jails when they're with record labels. Look at that guy from what band is it? What band is Tommy Lee playing?
I don't know. Is it Motley Crue?
Motley Crue, yeah. He's like, look at that guy from Motley Crue. He killed somebody and only got 30 days.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking
true though.
Yeah.
So go to jail.
Chaz agrees again to sign up to Wing because he does want anybody to get into trouble for what's gone down today. And Wing is like, fantastic. And then Wing arranges an entire stage and sound system to be airlifted to the roof where the band will play their song because there's a crowd outside.
Yeah, so there's like fucking 1,000 of these punk rockers just still outside loving this radio show.
And then a
movie.
Full stage just shows up with a helicopter.
Yeah, so they just get a helicopter with the entire stage with like fully like decked out, and it they just fly in and land it on. Is it on the? Yeah, it's on the roof. Eh?
Yeah, it's on the roof. And then the band go to play, but then they realize that everything is fake. Fake amps,
so
fake guitars.
Everything's fucked.
No, nothing. And then they're like, we're not going to play this, blah, blah, blah. And then Wing's like, oh, it's for the music video. It's for the music video. Just mime. But what tape are they playing? Are they playing the tape that was damaged?
I think so, yeah. Because I think they like fixed it. Because I think they like re-spooled it or some shit. And then it was ready to go.
If everything's fake, how's the crowd going to hear?
So that's what I was confused at, because they said they've got all fake stuff on there, but then they play it and it's just coming out of some massive speakers anyway. So
yeah. So why didn't they just connect everything up to the speakers?
Yeah, I wasn't really. No idea. I was on the same page there. That didn't really make sense.
And then refusing to lip sync as their tape is played, They instead destroy the instruments in protest to the delight of the crowd and stage dive into the hands of the cheering audience.
Yeah, they're on the roof though. You watch this and they stage dive like fucking 20 feet into the ground.
Well, with this building, we know somebody who's fallen from this building and has actually died. Well, not us personally, but one Hans Gruber.
One Hans Gruber did indeed.
But yeah, so yeah, they completely destroy everything and just get taken over by the crowd, and then they're loving life. And then next thing you know, the Lone Rangers are seen playing a gig inside the prison where they are incarcerated as Kyla and Susie dance in the background. They're constantly being shown live on MTV. Now their manager Ian says on the phone to an unknown person that the Lone Rangers will start touring in 6 months or 3 months if they behave themselves. A postscript states that the Lone Rangers served 3 months for kidnapping, theft, and assault with hot pepper sauce, and their album Live in Prison going triple platinum. And that's the movie.
Nice. That is the movie. Decent ending. You just get them in prison playing a live show.
I quite enjoyed that.
I did. I could happily watch this again.
I would watch that again. I was reading a couple of the reviews, and people they were like, how can you get the 3 stars who are so funny, but the movie not be funny at all? And I think there was some funny bits in this. I think
there's definitely some good redeeming qualities in this movie.
I think this is the most coherent
oh yeah, this felt like this. You watch this and you're like, oh, this is an actual movie.
Yeah, there's plot points and
there's like an established plot of what like they're actually trying to do, and it's established like pretty much in the first like 10 minutes, not in like the fucking last half an hour like with Shakes the Clown. And there's actually a plot, like fucking not with Going Overboard and not with Billy Madison.
Oh, Billy Madison's. Yeah, I'm gonna give this.
Billy Madison has the loosest plot.
I'm gonna give this a higher rating than Billy Madison. Right, Matt. Moving on to our scores. How many sandbags out of 10 would you give this movie, and what kind of flood could they stop? Bear in mind, last week you give Coneheads a 6.7.
Did I give it a 6.7? Jesus. I really need to think about these more, eh? I'm gonna have such like a skewed graph just from. Oh fuck! It's definitely better. Like it's way better than Coneheads. Like don't get me wrong, I didn't mind Coneheads, but this is a much better movie. Oh, this is gonna have to be a 7 then.
7? 7 exact?
I think this is a good base for a 7.
Okay, your average has come up to 3.88. Last week I gave Coneheads a 4.2. What kind of flood could your 7 sandbags stop, Matt?
Fuck, I've got no idea. Right? The flood of people in this fucking mosh pit and all these scenes. The flood of just the rockers just come from nowhere.
Fantastic. Right, I'm gonna give
I
this.
Just stolen your idea there.
I'm gonna give this a. I give Coneheads last week a 4.2.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this a 6.2. I feel like that's been generous.
A full 2 sandbags up.
Yeah. Oh, Matt, the average score is only 0.3 sandbags away from each other. And the flood that my 6.2 sandbags could stop is the flood of hot sauce that comes out of a water pistol that looks like a real gun.
Nice. I don't know if hot sauce comes out of guns like that, but they fully shot that like it would work.
Yeah. Should we try later on and just put it online? See what happens.
I mean, if you've got a spare little water gun lying around, you want to fill it with some Tabasco or something?
I got hot sauce downstairs. I don't know if I've got a.
I've always got hot sauce. Pistol. I just don't have the gun.
Yeah, that's my problem as well. Right, Matt, before we finish, did you find any trivia online?
Well, other than the fact that we both know that this was filmed at Nakatomi Plaza.
Yep.
Or like whatever that building's actually supposed to be. Not too much. There was a little bit, but there's just some stuff on Wikipedia that I was looking at. Like most of it is the fact that was filmed there. They got a couple bands that they wanted to be in the movie, but they turned it down.
Yeah, the packed cast again.
Yeah, just a ridiculously packed cast. Like, this is such a good cast in this movie. I couldn't get over it. Even if they've only got small parts, like Ernie Hudson's obviously not in it for a lot, but he's good and he's good in it as the hostage negotiator. Judd Nelson, obviously, can't remember his name in the movie, but famously the rogue character from The Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
that's yeah. He's great in this, just as a little slimy executive. Michael McCain does a decent role. It's probably his biggest role I think I've seen him in.
He is John Bender in The Breakfast Club.
That's it.
And then, yeah, Michael McKean. This is much bigger than last week's, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely in it much more.
And then we've got, David Arquette, Harold Ramis, Alan Covert, Rob Zombie. Fuck Rob Zombie.
And Lemmy.
Yeah, Lemmy from Overhead. I found I found some boring trivia, but I'll read it out anyway. This was the final film to use the classic 20th Century Fox opening.
Really?
Yep.
That's not a boring
the final,
fact. I mean, depending on who you are, but
and then after this, it was the one that we most know, the CG coming in and whatnot. But this was the last film to use the classic logo. And then I've got one goof as well, a couple of goofs. When Rex suggests that the tape should be played on the air, Chaz replies it can only be done because the mixing console is busted. All radio stations, especially high-profile ones, even the regional ones, have more than one broadcasting booth. In most cases, two. So it would just be a matter of switching booths. Which is...
Plot hole.
But...
Call the whole movie off.
Did you notice throughout this movie as well? There was a couple of times and they were like, are we still on air? And Ian would just point to the on-air thing being red.
Yeah.
But they were in a completely different room.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like
they
can hear most of what's going on, but they're not even in the fucking studio, though.
Yeah, like when they went into the meeting room, they were like, are we still on air? And he just points through the window into the next room.
Yeah, so what are all these people listening to? Are they just listening to like white noise, or like has he got music playing? Like
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. But do you want to? Do you know what's coming up next week? Because I don't.
Coming up next week, yeah. We've got something decent actually. He said, "Yeah, like I've got it written here, but I fully don't."
I've got it here.
There might be Happy Gilmore.
No, that's the week after. Next week we have the Steve Martin starring Mixed Nuts.
We've got Mixed Nuts.
I have never seen this movie in my life.
I've never even fucking heard of this movie, and I've been looking at that filmography for about a month now.
Steve Martin, I think that's Jason Bateman dressed as a woman, Adam Sandler in a silly hat. I think Michael Richards is in it again.
Is he in another one? Is he in 3 in a row?
I think so.
Are you sure?
Oh, fuck.
This bastard is just...
I've just typed in Mixed Nuts on Google and it's just taking me to Holland and Barrett.
Nah, I've got the Wikipedia a bit. I can't see his name on the cast list.
Lee Schreiber's in it? Oh, no, maybe not then. Jon Stewart's in it. Gary Shandling's in it. Rita Wilson, yeah. Oh, Rob Reiner. Oh. Haley Joel Osment.
What the fuck?
But yeah, next week is Mixed Nuts, I guess. Right, are we ready we're ready to go? Because I am. I've got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I've not really got much else to say. Mixed Nuts next week. Should be... Oh, fuck me, I've got no idea.
Decent movie this week. I enjoyed that. But 2 weeks' time is the big one. It's Happy Gilmore. That's probably going to be our peak.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it's pretty much the movie everybody knows and everybody loves. So
yeah, 2 weeks' time, Happy Gilmore. In the meantime, follow us on our social medias at So Sandlerous Pod, Instagram, Twitter. You'll find us there. Leave us a review on iTunes and Spotify. 5 stars, please. If you write a nice little message, we'll read it out on the podcast. Send us an email at sosandlerouspod@gmail.com and we'll also read it out. But apart from that, we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. And I'll see you next week for some Mixed Nuts.
Bye.
Peace.